Today we are joined by Vesper, a recruitment administrator at the Unplugged Group and a life coach who helps people discover and rediscover the unique inner magic within themselves. With a background in psychology, HR and IT recruitment, she combines behavioral science with heart-centered coaching to help individuals grow with confidence and purpose. Born and raised in Mamelodi West and a pleased mom of two, Vesper believes deeply in nurturing potential and letting people, young and old, discover who they truly are. She often says, people don't fail because they don't know. They fail because they are afraid. Today, we're excited to explore that idea with her. Vesper, welcome to Beyond the Box.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.
It's such an honor to have you here on the Blue Couch. Vesper, let's start with the magic words that you often use, the expression that you often use, where you talk about the magic within.
Yeah.
Right? What does that really mean?
For me, each one of us is born with a magic within themselves. No one is born without anything that they bring to the world. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So everyone has that one thing or many things that they have within themselves to share with the world. And that's the magic that I'm talking about. If you go into a class of children below 7 years of age and you ask them who is the better child in the class, all hands will go up, all hands. But beyond the age of 7, then the children start looking at themselves based on other people's eyes. They forget that magic that they had when they were young, when they believed they could be Superman or they can be the next Einstein. They forget about it because then people start talking into them and they forget what's inside and they start looking from the outside about who they are. And that's the inner magic that I'm talking about.
Interesting. So it's amazing that as young as 7-year-old, we're born with it.
Yes, we're born with it.
And we acknowledge that we have it.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing. So yeah, it's fascinating to hear you kind of explain when we start losing our acknowledgement or recognition of our own inner magic. So now I'm curious, how do you bring that philosophy into the workspace, into your area of work as a recruitment specialist?
I've been pleased to be or fortunate enough to have studied psychology. So that helps me to be able to go back to the inner person and facilitate through the psychological background. When we grow up, we want to belong. Everybody wants to belong. Everybody wants to be liked. So we end up doing things based on what other people are saying. We forget to be authentic. So I bring that by asking questions. Coaching, as you would know, is about questions. So I facilitate my coaching and even everything that I do, even if I'm not coaching, by asking questions to say, why do you think, or why do you believe you cannot do this, or why do you believe you can do this? Is it because of something that's happening outside of yourself, or is it something that you honestly fully believe within yourself you cannot do or you can do? So questioning the individual or the people at work or a coachee or anyone brings them to a place where then they ask themselves more than just that one question you ask them. And it goes back to, am I pleasing others or am I pleasing myself? Is it because I want to belong or am I really being authentic?
Interesting. I like the way you're talking about that, because I remember listening to somebody recently and they talked about being your authentic self. And in the work environment, being your authentic self is not always, what's the word, embraced, or it's something. Your authentic self, you leave them in the couch. You leave in the door. Well, what do you think to that? What do you say to that perspective?
If you're not authentic, you don't thrive. So if you want to succeed in the workplace or in your personal life, taking other people's ideas, copy and pasting is not always the best way to go. Yes, the workplace might not always smile or take into what you want to bring, but if you remind yourself about what you bring can actually make the workplace thrive, by making yourself thrive, then it's easier for you to bring it in and not leave it at the door, because the minute you leave it at the door, you miss chances of teaching, of making others grow, or also for yourself to learn better things than what you know, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
And people connect to that authenticity. You being yourself, not performing.
Better. Yes, because people can sense the performance.
Yeah.
Because today you're going to do it, they might believe you. Tomorrow, then they're going to feel something is not gelling.
It's not
here.
right.
Yeah, something is not gelling.
And that can kind of, it can rob you from having good and progressive or positive relationships with your colleagues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it also happens when you're in a meeting and they ask you something, you know the answer, you know the solution to the problem, but because they might look at me funny, you miss the opportunity for growth because you keep silent, thinking if I say this, they will laugh at me, or or if I ask this question, people are gonna frown on me. But then you're missing an opportunity for growth and learning. Yeah.
Oh, love the way you put it. Now let's transition a little bit to neurodiversity, which is something we really champion and we talk quite a lot about here at Kids Innovate Africa. Do you do some work with neurodivergent individuals? Do you support them with your coaching expertise? How do you work with them, if you do at all?
So neurodiversity is very close to my heart. I'm a mom with a son who's neurodivergent. He has ADHD. He's 23 now and he's thriving.
Oh, nice. That's what we want to hear. He's thriving.
So the reason I got into coaching and studying I was studying psychology and I wanted to be a counselor. But upon being a stay-at-home mom in 2015, making sure that I stay home and I facilitate bringing my children up and seeing them firsthand into what they're doing, it got frustrating to see my older son, intelligent as he was, but failing. Feisty as he was, but there was just something missing. And I had to take him to an educational psychologist, and I found out that he's actually ADD at the time. Now it's changed everything, it's ADHD.
That's right, yeah.
So
how old was he?
He was in grade 3, so he was
probably 9. Yeah,
9.
It was a nice young age to find out.
Yes, it was a nice age to find out. But I still stumbled, into how I can really assist. So I became a class parent at school. So I could see the same fabric in other children.
What is a class parent? Sorry to interrupt you. Because in my mind, I'm thinking you're going to school with your son and you sit there as a parent next to your son in the classroom. Is that
No. So a class parent is a parent within the whole group of parents who assists the teacher with excursions or reading. You become a reader, or if there's any messages or information that the parents need to know, instead of the teacher doing all that work, the class parent then assists the teacher, because the teacher still has to teach, mark children's books and class planning and all of that. So it takes some of the weight away from the teacher. And being a constant parent at school, you can see this child is intelligent, but he never says anything in class. So then I started looking into different ways on how the children show up in class, and that got me curious. And I learned about neurodiversity and everything else in between. And I then wanted to stop following the counseling way into psychology, and I decided I want to be a coach, because then that coaching fuels the person with, this is where I am and this is where I want to go. Whereas when you're counseling, the person is here stuck, then you need to take them back to where they were and how they got here, but how do they move forward?
Absolutely. Without somebody guiding them, a coach supporting them.
Yes. So that's how I got into coaching. So my son helped me to be where I'm at today.
Thanks to your son. Thanks to your son. What does he do now? Where is he?
He's at 𝐬𝐤𝐴𝐷𝐵𝑜𝑠 in Pretoria. He's studying media studies.
Okay. Okay. What are some of his superpowers that you can share with us? Some of his strengths?
Ooh, very analytical.
Okay.
Extremely analytical and quiet, but yeah, in the background he sits there and you think he's doing nothing, but he's extremely analytical. I like that about him.
That's amazing. You know, you've just literally opened my eyes to something that I didn't think about, but something also that I've not had any parents say, you know, the teachers do this and do this and do that. Being a class parent, take a load a little bit off from them. It's so compassionate. And that's amazing. When you got to see other learners that were similar to your son.
Yes.
And you started coaching from then on.
Yes. That's how I got into coaching.
Okay. And so you're coaching with neurodivergent, well, you coach learners across the board.
I coach learners and young adults and some adults.
Okay.
I prefer children to adults, but yeah.
Why children to adults?
Children are curious. They want to learn. They know that they need to get something from you. Adults sometimes feel, I know it all. What are you going to tell me? Yes, I want you to help me, but then I want to give you solutions.
Yeah, that's a difficult position to be in. Like, why did you come to me?
Exactly.
But children are like sponges.
Yes.
Amazing. And so now because you had a privilege of having to be a stay-at-home mom, to nurture and support your child, and focusing on their strengths, but also coaching your son as well, and likely the other kids around. How do you help the parent who's at home who says, I've got a child, I don't even know what are their strengths? Where do they start? How do they go about to spot those strengths, because then they can support the children properly?
I think what we don't do as parents most of the time is spending time with our children. That's the best way to spot the strengths of your child, because they tell you things that you never thought they could come out of your mouths.
Yeah.
The more you spend time with your children, the better it is for you to know what they like, what they don't like. And when you spot something that they don't like, then you are able to dig deeper to say, my child doesn't like wearing this t-shirt. I don't know why. Every time I take this t-shirt out, I'm going to find it on the floor.
Yeah.
You might find that your child doesn't like the labels. The labels are scratching. And it's the texture. It's not necessarily the t-shirt. It's the texture of the t-shirt. So spending time with your children and asking questions. I always say ask questions. Asking questions gets you to a better understanding about not just your environment, but your children's environment. So spend time with them. Check what they like, what they don't like. Even when they don't say anything, they're saying a lot.
Absolutely. Those non-verbal cues that are happening. And it's interesting that you say that. I mean, I'm just thinking the context of South Africa as a developing country. Most parents, Vesper, will know that they are waking. Some of them, they're
24/7.
They come home, they're tired, and they've got, I don't want to say they've got no time, but you're trying to worry about bread and butter. But as you say, there's no way around it. You need to spend time with your child,
even if it's an hour.
Yeah,
it'll give you so much. An hour a day or an hour in 2 days, because really we have limited time with our children. Like here I am in Cape Town, my children are in Joburg, in Pretoria, so I'm missing so much. But when I get home, take one of them on a date. Let's go have ice cream. It's an hour. Come back, you will learn a lot. Even if in silence, you will learn a lot.
That's amazing. And I'm curious how you were able to spot your son's strengths. during those years, the formative years in the mid-20s, right? 2015, 2016,
Yes,
around
2015.
yeah. What were the things that you noticed that, oh, my son is very analytical, and a few other great strengths that you were able to spot?
Yeah, at that time there was a lot that was happening in his life. I remember he was also in the choir. He was in the dance and drama group. So there were quite a number of things that I was seeing that I never thought he could do, because he's so quiet and he doesn't like saying much. But put him in a group of people and they're dancing and they're doing something, then he's there. And he remembers every beat, he remembers every word of the song, and he's there fully. And I'm like, but how does this happen?
Child is this.
This child is this.
Yeah.
This child is always at home with, quiet.
Yeah.
So it showed me that when he's focused on something, the analytical brain then comes out, and he takes everything in chunks, and the output then becomes much magnetic and magical. So when he's not analyzing anything and he's sitting back, then I see that there's no magic coming up. So that's how I could spot that, oh, okay, there's something happening when he's sitting down, being focused and taking everything in. He's actually analyzing. And he's also very artistic. I actually thought he was going to be a graphic designer. And he actually tried that, and it didn't work.
Oh, wow, interesting. Wow,
he went to Inkscape, and he tried graphic designing, and it didn't work. He was also very sure that that's the path that he was going to take. And upon changing to do media studies, the analytical brain is now the one that's actually pushing, and he's getting a lot of good marks, rather than when he was doing
graphic design.
Bachelor of Design. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. And what I'm picking up from what you're saying is also, as parents, we should allow our children to try and see. I suspect you would be a very good artist and sell art internationally because of the way because of your love of art. However, I'm going to give you a chance to advance it. If it happens that you don't like it, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. I think not allowing our children to fail, I'm going to use the word fail. They don't learn anything.
Yeah.
There's no learning in always getting it right, because the day you fail without knowing failure in the first place, you're going to crash.
Yes, it can crush you. And I like that you're mentioning that, because part of what we do here with robotics and coding with the students, yes, we're introducing them to STEM careers, to science, engineering, and technology careers at a young age, but we're also helping them develop life skills. So when you're talking about failure, because that's some of the things that happen. Sometimes the students will build a robot, they'll program it, now it has to execute missions, it's not working. Right? And we have had experiences at Vesper where they go to competitions, this robot has been functioning properly. All of a sudden, you launch, it's not moving. We have had meltdowns, right? But making it kind of acceptable to fail, that failure, it's not as it's been defined traditionally. It's a way of learning. Yeah.
No failure, no learning, no growth.
Yeah. Vesper, you are a recruitment specialist.
Yes.
You're not just an ordinary recruitment specialist, because you have the behavioral science of it all with your psychology, industrial psychology qualification. And I'm curious what you would say to the parents that are raising children, particularly neurodivergent children, and they want to prepare them for the future of work. What are some of the things that they should be doing to prepare their children for the future of work? And maybe you could touch on, maybe the innovation space, because you are a recruitment specialist in IT. Yeah.
So there's nothing as best as putting your children into practical ways of preparing them. You can sit them down and tell them something, but if you don't bring them to that thing so that they can see the practicality of it, then it's going to be a bit hard, especially with innovation. I mean, there's AI now. Everything changes almost every day. Like if I'm recruiting now and I'm recruiting for something new, if you've been doing a degree for 3 years, you've missed out so much in the IT space.
Because things change all the time.
Things change every day. If you haven't been doing different certifications every 6 months or learning something new in 3 months, then the bus has left you.
Wow.
So making sure that the children are in spaces like this, where they can see things and touch them and learn about them continuously, is getting them ready for the world of work. Make sure that they collaborate, because we used to struggle, I think, but it's changing now. We used to struggle with making sure that we're working in silos, because if I do this, then it's mine.
Yes.
Doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
There's no winning.
It's an old way of thinking.
It's an old way of thinking. Now, there are people who have a different skill set from you. So making sure that our children are in a collaborative space where they can see what others are doing, and they can also lend a hand and bring their own ways of thinking to problem solving is definitely the best way to prepare them for the world of work in the future.
Yeah, I love how you answered that, and this is something that most of the parents that make sure their kids are exposed to this field.
Yes.
These are the things they care about. Yeah, it's very important. And one of the things, I think this is one of the things that Dr. Raphael, our neurodevelopmental pediatrician on Saturday, talked about when she said, yes, qualifications are not that important. Life skills are critical. And it's things like collaboration, as you've said, teamwork. It's things like resilience, right? Is your child resilient enough to continue learning? Are they resilient enough such that when failure comes, they can fail but also get up?
I like that, because I used to be one of those people who would say, I don't go with the flow, because going with the flow means that I'm just going with the current. Anything that comes up from anyone that I'm just flowing with. I'm not that person. I don't go with the flow, because I might just only dead fish go with the flow. I used to say that.
Only dead fish go with the flow, because they've got no way of navigating their own way.
But then I've learned something new.
Yeah.
I go with the flow. The current actually carries you into the unknown. And in the unknown you learn. You don't know what you don't know. So if you don't go with the current, then you're stuck. But there's something nice that I've learned when I was doing my embed coaching certificate, is that there's a seaweed. It goes everywhere with the current. But because it's got roots, it's rooted there. It stays there, but it's learning. It's going with the current. Wherever the current takes it, it flows with it. So sometimes you can just be the seaweed. Sometimes you can just be the river. So I've decided that I'm the river. I go everywhere.
That is so powerful.
I'm not being taken.
That's really powerful.
I am flowing because I'm the river. So
yes, and I don't know if I'm right, but what I'm taking away from what you've just said now is, we need to watch what's happening in the environment.
Yes.
Because they know my child is going to be a nurse.
Yes.
Right? What's happening globally?
What
in the work environment?
If she's gonna be a nurse, or he's gonna be a nurse, what are the new things in the nursing world that he needs to learn? You can't just say nurse. There's a lot that's changing daily. So we need to prepare them to say, be there, be exposed. And let me be exposed with you. There's games like Minecraft. If your child is sitting there by themselves and just playing Minecraft and you don't understand, that's another thing. Go sit with your child, play Minecraft, discover the world of gaming, discover the world of what they're interested in, and you will know how to actually prepare them, how they think, what they like.
Yeah. And this goes back to what you said earlier, spending time with your children. Yes, I don't have time, but my child loves Minecraft. After work, now I'm tired, but let's do Minecraft.
That's a way to relax, right? You relax with them. You're tired. Take your mind off your work. Take your mind off things that really irritate you. Spend some time with them. Play Minecraft. Play something else with them, or teach them cards. We used to play cards. Go with the flow.
Yeah, but stay rooted. That's so beautiful. So now we're going to move on slightly and look at the daily habits that as parents we can develop at home to nurture and support our children. What are those?
We spoke about spending time together, that even if we're not playing games or anything, meal times must be a must. That's another place where you can learn so much about your children, because you sit there, they might say, I don't want to talk about it. Change the way you ask them questions. Don't say, how was your day? Just maybe ask, what was your teacher wearing today?
Something as basic as that.
Something as basic as that. Those are the daily things, habits that you can do. Just ask something random instead of the daily question of, oh, how was school today? You're not going to get anything out of it. Ask something, out of the box, and they will tell you something you don't know. Also, the other daily habits is that make it, because we go to work early, they also go to school early. Instead of hiring transport, be the one taking them to school. Whether it's a walking distance or it's a driving distance, you will learn a lot out of your children. So small things like give them things to do. You're speaking about STEM. One thing that I used to do with my children was bake with them. That teaches them preparation. So before we even start anything, we need to make sure we've got all the ingredients. We need to make sure that the stove is working. So it helps them how to manage preparation before executing anything. And then it also helps them with maths. When you bake, you need to make sure everything is within the way the recipe says. Because if you do something more butter, your cake is going to be very flaky. So you need the right amount of flour, the right amount of butter, the right amount of everything. So those are mathematical skills. STEM is everywhere we are. So if you don't put those small things into your daily things, then you're not getting anywhere. And they like you more because you say, let's cook together. What would you like to incorporate into this dish today? I'm giving you the leeway to just assist. So it's small things that actually you can do on a daily basis that can really build them. Because remember, when you not just neurodivergent children, when you really bring yourself into what you're doing, you love yourself more.
Wow.
And you don't think there's anything wrong, because everything that's inside of you is magical when you're putting it on a plate or you're putting it into play. So as parents, we need small things to incorporate on a daily basis with our children to make them feel, you know what, I'm doing something. I'm actually a super person into everything that I do.
And that magic continues. And there's a way you can continue even beyond 7 years old if you do those small things.
Exactly. And one of the things that parents can really score on a daily basis is let your children find you talking about them, about something good that they've done. Make sure that when somebody comes to visit, you talk about your child. You know they're going to be in the next room, but make it deliberate. Just oh, you have no idea how amazing my daughter is, or how amazing my son is. You know he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in the corner,
yes,
doing something right.
This is so amazing. I like that you're mentioning this, Vesper, because that's kind of our philosophy with celebrating neurodiversity. And it's some of the things we've been sharing with the parents to say, because for children particularly that are neurodivergent, going through school, they've had people say, you're naughty, and why are you doing this all the time? They keep hearing all this negativity, and all that's filling in their cup. The magic disappears eventually, and they're left with all this negativity. But as a parent at home, when you have guests, when the relatives are here, talk very, positive. We like to use the word proudly, but talk very positively about your child.
Yes.
So that you now start making sure that magic builds up and stays.
Continue to add that magic.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't float out.
Yeah, sure. The magic, we're keeping to the topic on the magic. So if we look at children, thanks the school where your child went to, they were so lucky to have you there as a class mom. You said class mom. Yeah.
I also learned about it. Got to learn about it when I got to the school. I didn't even know there was something like a class mom.
Okay.
Until they went to that school, because I've always been working. I've never not worked until that year in 2015 when I decided, okay, I want to stay home. I want to nurture and I want to walk this road with them. So it was beautiful to see that there's a community in the school of parents and everybody is there for each other. And they really brought out this beautiful notion, African proverb, that it takes a village. Indeed, it takes a village. It's not just about taking your children to school and then going home. So I was very fortunate.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's kind of how you saw it. And because teachers have such, after home or after parents, teachers have the second largest amount of time that they spend with our children at school. What are some of the approaches or techniques that you think teachers can benefit from in terms of how they empower and nurture the magic to continue shining in our learners, particularly neurodivergent learners?
I think we are not curious enough as people. And it would really help the teachers to be more curious about the children in class.
Yeah.
I was talking on one of my videos this week that it's so prevalent for us to always think that we are right or to know that we are right because we're only wearing this lens. So if I take off my lens and I want to see through your lens, I'll see something completely different. Your lens and my lens won't show the same thing. So be curious enough to see, how is Emma looking at this? There's always different ways of looking at things, and we always want to see with our own lens, and we're not curious enough to find out how is the next person looking at this and what is it showing them. So teachers need to be very curious. If they believe that this child is naughty, why is the child naughty? What is it about the child that makes them naughty? So, and they used to have, I don't know if it's been done now, they used to group children in class according to intellect.
Yes.
So those who are,
I think they
who are
still
more
do it,
clever,
right?
I don't know.
Where they group students according to their... You were in one of the top performing maths and science class in high school.
Oh.
Yes, that's the thing. That's what you're referring to, the top class.
Yeah, but even in the other normal classes, the ones who are performing higher would be in one group, because sometimes the children would see 4 in a group, and the ones who are struggling will be by themselves. So grouping children and just mixing them, not focusing on their intellect, but just focusing on the fact that they're children and they can help each other actually learn better. If I'm really struggling with reading and I'm sitting with 2 or more children in the same table who are great at reading, I'm gonna learn.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to do what they're doing.
So grouping people according to their common strengths is not good.
It's not. It
should be diverse strengths.
Diverse strengths. Each teaches the other, each learns from the other. So curiosity,
that's right,
and really understanding diversity, and really making children feel included anywhere and everywhere, whether it's in the playground or in class, would really, really help the teachers to see things.
Oh, and I can't help listening to you, because I'm now thinking, if our teachers are empowered to take off their lenses and look through the matters through somebody else's lens, that can also actually reduce bullying. Because, you know, by extension, if your strength is art and my strength is maths, and they put us together and we have to do a project, I'm going to shine where I shine. But if you're saying, oh, art people, no, we only maths is what we celebrate. When you're on the playground, you're like, no, we are the best.
Yeah, we're the best. So,
and that can perpetuate bullying as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I was going to say, that idea of looking through somebody else's lens can sometimes, in our context in South Africa, be considered a privilege.
Yes.
Because our classrooms are packed. Like, you'd have one teacher with like 30 and in some cases even 50 learners. How do you then, as a teacher, go and try getting curious about why is Kirsty always making noise in the class, or always jumping up and down, when you have so many students to go through?
I think we have a tendency of enjoying comfort.
Okay.
We are not happy to be uncomfortable. Sometimes we want to fall in love with finding a solution, but we don't fall in love with the problem. Falling in love with the problem makes you dig deep to finding a solution. Trying to rush to get a solution doesn't help you to understand the problem. When you fall in love with the problem, you actually get a better understanding of the problem and getting a better solution for the problem. But if you're rushing to get a solution, there's no time for you to understand the problem. So you'll just want to, if there's a pothole, you just want to fill it up with soil or whatever, not understanding that actually if I do this, it's going to rain and it's going to open up again.
But I need some concrete, maybe.
I need concrete, and I need tar, and I need... Falling in love with the problem really gets you to understand what the problem, what kind of a solution the problem needs, instead of just finding a solution for the problem.
Yeah. And I like that analogy, because if the problem happens again, if we keep having more students that are struggling or finding this as a challenge, I know exactly what to do.
Exactly.
Because I've fallen in love with the problem, and
I know what the problem looks like. And it might not be the same problem. It might be the same problem, but with different things. So when each child comes with a different problem, fall in love with the problem and get a better understanding of the problem, so that you can bring a good solution. Yes, there might be 50 children in class, but if that uncomfortability is too uncomfortable, you need to get closer.
We don't like discomfort.
We don't like discomfort.
And
we don't. But the more we get curious about the discomfort and get closer to the problem, we solve the problem quicker.
The human psychology of comfort.
Yeah.
And nothing grows in comfort.
Grows in comfort.
Nothing grows in comfort. And the same goes for our loving teachers. We know it was International Teachers' Day last week.
Yeah, on the 5th.
On the 5th, right? We celebrate the hard work we do, and sometimes under challenging circumstances. But what we're hearing also here is that we should fall in love with the problem and get a little bit closer to discomfort, because that's where growth happens. Not only personal growth, but also the bigger community and the school benefit.
Definitely.
From that approach. Okay. So we're going to look at, and I think we covered on this just a little bit Vesper earlier, looking at your unique experience in the recruitment space, which kind of give you a slightly different perspective about preparing for the future, right? For the future of work. And how does that perspective translate into how we are preparing young people for the future of work now?
I'm also, yeah, I wear a lot of hats.
Okay.
So I have two ladies that I work with where we are trying to get into the understanding of work readiness programs. Yes. So preparing children for the future is not about the career only. There's stuff like time management,
Yeah.
cybersecurity. We are all, every one of us, when we come to work, there's laptops, there's computers. How secure are you to making sure that you can work with that computer? Are you just going to open up and just click anything that comes up?
Yeah.
And so cybersecurity is important. AI, everything that we do now that we're learning about is digitalized. I mean, we have books. People don't read books anymore.
No.
That paper. People just go and just read electronically. So AI is in everything. You want to pay for water, there's a payment option on your phone. That's how you pay. So getting our children, especially those from
marginalized
communities, to understand what AI is about. Time management. We have a generation that's very, I don't want to say that thing they know it all, but they just feel,
that's how we
feel, they just feel like everything is theirs, right?
yeah, absolutely, because they're growing in a different time.
And they can come to work at any time because hey, this is the world of work. I know how I can do things, so even if I come at 9, it's okay. But then we need to assist them to see things in a different way. We now have the older generations who are older than us, almost going out for retirement, who have no understanding of my 2K.
The generational gap.
Yes. So you can't just do things. So that transition that needs to happen for them to understand that hasn't been always like this, where people can work from home. So there are things that you need to learn from the get-go when you come into the world of work, and be able to get an understanding of how the organization works. You are not going to be able to do it if you're working from home. So you need to be in the organization. You need to be present. You need to see how everything works. The day we see that you're, fit to be staying at home, then you can do that. But so we are trying to get a program where we get the new generation going into the world of work, or those who haven't gotten who haven't applied on time and are staying at home, that gap year, they can use that gap year to understand work readiness, what it entails, what's in an organization, what it means to be vulnerable at work, why you need coaching, all those little things that we only learn after 10 years in the workspace. They can learn before they even get to work.
Absolutely.
So preparation for work is not just about your career. It's about what happens when you get into it.
Those soft skills.
Soft skills are important.
People don't learn at school.
No.
That's a very important work, Vesper, because we work with young people, and things like time management, as you say, it's not something they know. And not all of them, not many of them. And if you're looking at collaboration, you can't learn collaboration when you're working from home.
No,
you need to be in the jungle, facing conflict and learning how to manage it. How do you negotiate your way around with your colleagues?
Team dynamics.
What
does it mean? What does a team mean? What does it look like? Work culture. Code of conduct. What does it mean?
How we dress.
Don't get me started.
What is the name of the organization? Because it's a very important work that you do, because it's very easy for young people to lose their jobs because of the lack of those skills that you guys are working on, which is kind of, you're sharing with the parents so that they can kind of find ways or spaces where their children can learn.
So we are 𝐕𝐞𝐬𝐩𝐞𝐫 is a seed.
Yes.
So we are planting a seed to the young generation. So it's called 𝐕𝐞𝐬, People Empowerment Opportunities. But we are also transitioning. We might change the name, but it's still going to remain Peu because the seed is a seed. We're just going to change a few words to mean something else. So we're working on that.
Okay.
So we are on socials as well. As people, economic empowerment. So yeah,
that's nice. My colleague is going to get the details so we can show on this podcast.
Getting children ready, whether they are on the spectrum or not, is important. And getting them to love being where they are, no matter what's inside of them, because what's inside of them is the gold that they need to impart to the world. So that's what we love.
Yeah, that's very important, and I like that you are echoing some of the things that our expert Joe and Dr. Raphael were referring to, those soft skills, that a certificate is not everything.
No.
Yeah.
Soft skills are gold.
Yeah. They're gold. You can't study them in a book.
No.
You have to live them. Yeah. That's right. And one of the things we do here at Vesper at Kids Innovate Africa through robotics, by nature, robotics is a very collaborative activity.
Exactly.
So students work together in teams. They learn to negotiate their way. They learn to advocate for themselves. Look, I'm a good coder. Because I'm a coder, allow me to code. Right? I'm an exceptional tester or launcher. Allow me to do that. Yeah. So which helps them develop those interpersonal skills that some people only learn when they start their first job. But it's nice that you guys are kind of teaching that as well. Yeah, I'm so happy the way you have covered the importance of preparing for the future of work and what are the things that parents can do right now to make sure that their children would have a kind of like a reasonable transition into the work environment when it's time. If you were to look at people managers and teams that work in a diverse space, and particularly a neurodiverse space, what's the key message that you can share with them about creating a workspace that is truly inclusive?
One of the best things to do as a manager, as a leader, is to create a psychologically safe space. A psychologically safe space helps individuals to understand that they can ask questions without being victimized. They can be themselves without being looked at in a different way. They can be able to put in their own thoughts without being blocked. They are included. There's inclusivity, not just because they bring something, but because the managers, the leaders understand where they're coming from. So they're included not because they bring something, they're included because they just are.
The humanity.
So they are just human. They're just there to add, and they're just there to be. Sometimes you don't need to do anything. I can just be, and you can just learn something from me just by me standing there. So when you're safe, you are not afraid to speak up. You're not afraid to just sit and bring in your thoughts. You are included by virtue of being. You are listened to, and you are also able to bring in your 2 cents, your 50 cents without anybody looking at you funny, and you're able to ask questions. You're able to challenge the status quo with who you are and not only with what you bring. So when the space is safe, the managers can do so much for the neurodivergent people in their spaces.
And if I'm listening to you, also I'm thinking the managers are also kind of in a privileged position to observe the dynamics within the team, to observe, okay, what do I need to facilitate for Vesper in particular, and for her to thrive within my team.
I've noticed that Vesper likes to sit down and analyze. So in the morning, if she's sitting there and doing something, I need to be able to let her be in that space, and I know that when she's done, she'll come out. Not be like, hey, we have a 9 o'clock meeting, you must come. But you've observed, you've seen that this is her time to be able to sit and analyze, and she will then decode to the rest of the team. So have that space for each and every individual in your workspace.
Oh, that's amazing. It's very insightful. What you're saying, we have had the privilege of working with neurodivergent colleagues, and some of the things that they've taught us is how we communicate instructions. You know, like don't tell it to me, write it down. Yeah, like I get distracted a lot. I forget. Come and remind me. You know,
and there are other people who would prefer that you, while you're doing something, you send them text, because they'll be able to read it. When you're speaking, they lose their track or their thought. So they know that when they have their 5 minutes, they'll be able to read and they can do what you've asked them to do. But if you're going to shout, they're not going to get anything out of you, and you're not going to get anything out of them.
Be agile as a manager.
Actually,
yeah, in how you engage with your team. As we come to the end of this powerful engagement and conversation that we had today, I'm curious what you want the parent or the caretaker, even the manager at home, to take away from this conversation.
I think the main important thing to take away is there is so much gold in each and every child, individual who's neurodivergent. And I think they are the most, I don't want to say intelligent, but they are the magic, they're the magic bringers. They are the magic in everything, because they bring so much that you don't know.
Yeah.
We always think that we know, but they know more. They think differently from us. They don't think wrong. There's nothing wrong that they're doing. They're just doing it better in their own setting. So there's so much to take away from them. So if you want to learn anything, spend time with them, ask questions, ask relevant questions, not just ask any question, ask relevant questions. What would you like me to do for you to be able to thrive in your space? Not what are you doing in your room? What is it that you love in your own space that I can do for you to be able to be in our space? Maybe I'm sitting in my room because the TV is too loud and you're not hearing me because you want me to sit there. So ask questions that are going to let them feel, make them feel heard, make them feel seen, show them that you see them. And that thing that I said before, let them catch you saying something positive about them with other people, make them shine.
Yeah, parents, my heart, I'm a parent as well, and listening to this nuggets of wisdom from Vesper really touches my heart and reminds me of what are the things that I as a parent can do in my space. It's not big and hard things to implement. So maybe you can find something based on what she said to see what you can apply. And if you're already doing so, we celebrate you and we thank you for that. Vesper, thank you so much for pouring your wisdom and your heart into this conversation today and with our listeners at home. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. I'm so honored to be here. I enjoyed myself, and I'm also learning a lot.
Yeah. Thank you. How do parents at home contact you? Because you mentioned you are a life coach. You teach about how to get students ready or young people ready for the job market. You were a coach thanks to your child who is ADHD. You knew he needed more than a psychologist. He needed a coach to thrive. And are those the services you offer to parents? I mean, how do people get in touch with you?
I'm on Instagram and Facebook as 𝐕𝐸nspired, one word, 1976. And I do Monday Nuggets on a Monday. They can catch me there. And my details are there. My email address and my phone number is on those socials. Yeah, I coach and I do parent conversations and I do workshops. So They're free to contact me anytime.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
with us. And, you know, as parents, we need all the support we can get because
Totally.
raising children is not an easy job, especially teenagers, I tell you.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. It takes a village. For listeners at home, remember, unlocking potential starts with awareness, care, and confidence. And to learn more about inspiring experts like Vesper, check out the rest of the Beyond the Box podcast, which is available on YouTube, but also on Spotify. From us, that's it, and have a